everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of our video series, Budgeting in Utah, a Legislator's Guide. It's a Saturday morning, thus my attire. I promise that if you're watching this on a weekday, I am currently wearing a tie. Part 3 of the series is going to cover one of the tools that we use in the appropriations process called the Compendium of Budget Information, or COBI. If you haven't watched part 2 of the series, I suggest that you pause this video now, go watch that one first. It covers some information that you're going to need to know in order to follow along here on this video. COBI is like a great big encyclopedia about Utah's budget. It contains a number of elements: descriptions of a government unit's function or purpose, its backstory, what it has been authorized to do by the legislature, how it measures its success, what legislators have said they intend for it to do, any issues or recommendations staff might have, and, of course, budget numbers. The budget numbers in COBI are presented in 3 different ways. First, by where the money is coming from. Second, by where it's going, or who gets it. And third, by how it is spent, or what it's spent on. In addition to the budget figures, we include some other resource measures like full-time equivalent employment, number of vehicles operated, weighted pupil units, and the like. All of those figures are presented at various levels of aggregation, cascading from very broad to very narrow. The aggregation has statewide at the highest, then subcommittee, agency, line item, and program, with program being the lowest level of aggregation. Now that I've described COBI to you, let me show you where you can find it. The most direct route to get there is to open your browser and go to le.utah.gov. Then, if you go down to the featured item lists, you can see COBI listed at the very bottom of that list. There are lots of other ways to get there as well. For instance, it will be linked to your committee page. We may have sent you an email with a link in it. That link will work as well. And finally, we've presented base budget bills that are linked to COBI. As you're reading through the base budget bill, you could go to any one of these hyperlinks, click it, and it will take you to the COBI for that particular entity. Once you're in COBI, there are a number of ways you can get around, depending on your preference. If you prefer to read COBI like a book, click the arrows or the next page and previous page buttons. Those buttons are located at the top and the bottom of every page. If you're looking for something in particular, you want to see where you're going page by page, or you're just interested in how COBI is organized, use the table of contents. You can see first from the statewide table of contents, and then from the subcommittee table of contents, that cascading that I talked about, starting with statewide, going to subcommittees, agencies, line items, and programs. If you happen to be looking at a budget table, especially at the different levels of organization, and you want to drill down from one higher level of aggregation to the next level lower, just click on a link in the table. You can use these breadcrumbs at the top then to jump back up levels of aggregation, skipping over the levels in between. And if you're looking for something specific, you can always use the keyword search at the top of the legislative website. Just type in 2014 COBI, a search term you're looking for, like fire, and hit find. And the search engine will return a list of links that likely contains the page that you're interested in. Once you're on the COBI page you're interested in, here are the elements you can expect to find there. Function, statutory authority, intent language, performance, some information about special funds and accounts used by that entity, and of course, funding detail or the budget. On the budget tables, you can see where we last left the budget in the spring. You can also see how that budget has changed since then and how it might change again in the base budget. If you're interested in history, you can scroll to the right on this chart, push it to the right or scroll to the left, and you can see 5 years of budget history. You can see the budget by source of finance, as I discussed earlier. You can see the budget divided into the programs or units that enact the budget, spend the money. And you can see it by category of expenditure. I showed you before how you can link on a program to go to that next level of aggregation. You can also link on a fund name to see a fund report. That fund report will show you balances, revenue, expenditures, and transfers for every year the fund has been in existence. It will also show you a brief description and the legal authorization for that fund. If you mouse over one of these categories of expenditure, you'll get a brief explanation of what that category is. And then you can also see at the bottom here the FTE, vehicles, and other measures that we provided for every line item and program. Before we go, I wanted to show you how this video relates to video number 2. So I'm going to go back to the main COBI page, the statewide summary, and show you how we've displayed all of those various kinds of appropriations. In Table 1, we've combined the operating and capital budget with expendable funds and accounts. That's what everybody commonly refers to as the budget. We then in Table 2 break down operating and capital budgets, the biggest part, then those expendable funds and accounts, then business-like activities, restricted fund and account transfers, transfers to the general and education fund, fiduciary funds, and capital projects funds. We hope to increase transparency into the budget and related financial transactions by adding more and more funds to these related categories over time. Well, I've covered quite a bit about how to get around and what's included in COBI, and it's a lot to remember. So we've included at the beginning of COBI a quick start guide. It's linked here at the end of the first paragraph on the statewide summary. If you click that link, it'll take you to a one-page primer that shows you all of those navigation tools I told you about with little cartoon call-out boxes. It also gives you the full path to the 2014 COBI here at the bottom. Feel free to print that out or call us and we'll print out a copy for you, and you can put that in your computer bag or in your pocket and pull it out when you turn on your computer to link to COBI and find all this great budget information. So lots and lots of really good information in COBI. Number of different ways to get to that information. We're adding information all the time. If you have ideas on what you think we could add or how it would be easier for you to use this, please don't hesitate to contact someone on staff and let us know. Thanks for watching.